Hello, welcome to the Unit 9 test on percents and measurement. Alright, number 1, how many ounces are in a pound? So these are just straight, straight from your notes. So this is going to be 16 ounces. There are 12 inches in a foot. There are 3 feet in a yard. There are 100 centimeters in a meter. And there are 1,000 meters in a kilometer. So these are all things that you have to know to be successful in measurement. These are like must know from memory. The next 3 are review problems. So for this one we are simplifying the expression 7a plus 7b minus 3a plus 9 minus b. Our like terms are right here. So that's going to be 7a minus 3a will be 4a. And then 7b minus a b will be 6b. And then plus 9, our constant, is still just going to be there. Next, we have filling in your chart about converting your fractions, decimals, and percents. So 3 divided by 8 is going to be 375 thousandths. Converting that to a percent, moving our decimal 2 places to the right, like that. For 9.4 as a decimal, we're going to move it 2 places to the right again to make it the percent. And then for the decimal to a fraction, we're going to read this out loud, 9 4/10. So to be 9 4/10 simplified to be 9 2/5. Our last one is 32%. To convert to a decimal, we need to move it 2 places to the left, the decimal. So it's 0 32 hundredths. And as a fraction, that's going to be 32 over 100. Simplified to be 8 over 25. Alright, and that's number 4. I know I need to leave room for number 3. So for number 3, we need to solve without using a calculator. All work and conversions must be shown. So the first thing I'm going to do here is 13 minus 5, and that's going to be 8. And then I'm going to bring down the rest of my problem. So as you can see here, I have to do my parentheses before I can do my exponents. So I'm going to come over here on my side work, and I'm going to solve 2/3 plus 3/4. So before I can add my fractions, I have to have a common denominator. 12 will be my common denominator for 3 and 4. So I said 4 times 3 equals 12, so I have to do 3 times 3 to equal 9. 3 times 4 equal 12. So 2 times 4 is equal to 8. 8 plus 9 is 17 twelfths. So this is going to be 17 twelfths squared. So this means I have to do 17 twelfths times itself. So again, I'm going to stay down here to keep my work together. So it's going to be 17 twelfths times 17 twelfths. And when I do that, 17 times 17, let me get my calculator just to save some time. You could have used your calculator for that part. It wasn't clear. Is 289. And 12 times 12 is 144. So that means 289 divided by 144, if we were going to simplify that, is going to be 1. And I need to subtract to find out what's left. So 289 minus 144 is 145. So I didn't divide enough. So that means I need to simplify again. 144 goes into 145 one more time, so it's going to be a total of 2 and 1 1/44. So I'll come back over here. And now I need to, you know what, I should have probably just kept it. I wasn't thinking what my next step was. I should have kept it in this form here to multiply. As long as you distribute the 8 to both parts, you'll be fine. So 8 times 2 is 16. And then 8 times 1 over that, over 144 is going to be 8 and 1/44. Simplified is going to be 16. Let's see here. 16 and 1/18. I realized though, when I solved this the first time, I got a different answer because I converted these to decimals. And since it's a repeating decimal, my 2/3 is a repeating, it kind of changes things. So I initially said 0.66 plus 0.75. So like I said, I went over here. Let me change my color. So I said 0.66 plus 0.75. And I took that and squared it. Well, what happened here, because I rounded this number, because this is a 6/6 repeating, 2/3 is, it changes the answer significantly. So I'm basically, when I go to check your paper, I'm going to check your work, but if you had an answer between like 15 and 16-ish, I'm going to count it right. I should have made a better question so I wouldn't have so many different answers. But that's the fact of the matter. So I apologize for that, but as long as you got this far, I'll, give you some credit. All right, moving on. Number 5, 80% of the tickets sold at an amusement park were discount tickets. If the park sold 40 tickets in all, how many discount tickets did it sell? So I know when I'm sitting at my problem with percents that my 100 is going to go on the bottom and my any percent work is up here. So I know it's 80%, so that goes up here. 40 tickets in all means that's the total. So the total goes on the bottom. The part that's the part of the total goes on the top. And so now I can cross multiply, and I have 3,200 equaling 100x. And then x is going to be equal to 32. So that means that there are going to be 32 discount tickets sold. Number 6, while on vacation in Georgetown, Vivian went to dinner that cost $50. If sales tax in Georgetown is 4% and Vivian left an 18% tip on the $50, what is the total cost of her meal? So for this problem, hopefully you've been out to dinner before and you've paid attention with what your parents have done, because your tax has got to happen first and then your tip will happen second. So that's going to affect your answer if you didn't do it in that order. So right now I'm going to do my 4% over 100 and my $50 meal here, and I'm wanting to find out how much tax it's going to be on the meal. So I'm going to cross multiply and I'll get 200 equaling 100x. So x is going to be equal to, did I do something wrong? Sorry, this should be yeah. So the tax will be 2. So that's going to be $50 plus $2 tax. So that's going to be $52. But now you have to leave an 18% tip on top of that. So we're going to do 18% now over 100. And now my total bill is $52. So 52 times 18 is 936. 100x. X is equal to 9.36. So I have to add this on top of that. So this is the tip. So now it's going to be 52 plus 936. So our total is going to be 61.36. So that's my final answer right there, 6136. All right. Let me see if I can select this and slide it over. Nope. Okay. I'll just have to do the best I can. All right. Next problem. This morning, Laura took a history test. She got 10 out of 40 problems correct. What percentage did Laura get right? So I don't know the percent this time, so my X is over the percent. I know it's over 100 though. And she had 10 correct out of 40. So I'll cross multiply and I get 40x over 1,000. And then X is going to be 25. So she got 25% correct on the test. So not a good thing, most likely. All right, number 8. The lunch choices last Friday were mushroom or pepperoni pizza. The cafeteria made 30 pizzas in all, 10% of which were mushroom pizzas. How many mushroom pizzas did the cafeteria make? So I know that 10% goes over my 100 because it's over the percentage. And there's 30 pizzas in all, and I don't know how many were mushroom. So I'm going to cross multiply. And, oops, and X is going to be equal to 3. So that means that they made 3 mushroom pizzas. 3 right there. Sorry. Let me make that better. Sorry. Didn't want to erase that. Okay. Let me just leave it there. And I'll come down here. There we go. Alright, next problem. Number 9. Zane earns 5% commission as a salesperson. Remember, commission is the money that the salespeople make on when they're working. So he sold a chest of drawers that cost $60. How much commission did Zane earn? So if he earns 5% on the stuff he sells, and 60 was the total value, we don't know how much money he earned. So it's going to be 300 equaling 100x, meaning x is going to be equal to 3. So that means that Zane earned $3 for selling that chest of drawers. So $3 commission. Okay, and so you just think about it, that's just one piece of furniture. So if he sold a bunch of pieces of furniture, then his commission's going to be higher. Number 10, a biology class examined some flowers in a local meadow. Out of the 50 flowers they saw, 25 were perennials. What percentage of the flowers were perennials? So when I made this question, I obviously didn't read it very carefully, because if you just look at this, you should already recognize that 25 is half of 50. So then your answer is going to be 50%. But just to show you the work, we don't know the percentage over 100. We know that 25 over 50, then 50x equals 2,500. And then x is going to be equal to 50. So it'll be 50% were perennials. Number 11, Chase measured a line for his art project. It is 200 millimeters long. How many centimeters is the line? So this is where you have to know that there are 10 millimeters in a centimeter. Either you know that or you remember the chart. So 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters. It's on the ruler, those little lines in between the centimeter marks. That's the millimeter lines. So 1 centimeter over 10 millimeters. We know it's 200 millimeters, so my millimeters is going to go on the bottom with my other millimeters. We don't know how many centimeters. So again, I'm going to cross multiply. And x is going to be equal to 20. So it'll be 20 centimeters. Number 12, Cheryl is moving to a new house. Her old house is 3 kilometers from her new house. How many meters is the old house from the new house? So I know that 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. If we know that it's 3 kilometers away, we don't know how many meters, so that's where our variable goes. So when we cross multiply, we find out that x is equal to 3,000. So it is 3,000 meters away. All right. Number 13. There is a jar on the cabinet by the refrigerator. If Kiona pours 114 ounces of water into the jar 3 times to fill it, how many quarts of water does it take to fill the jar? So the first thing I did was I saw that it's 114 ounces of water, and we did it 3 times. So that's going to be 114 times 3. So that's going to be 342 ounces of water. So I know that it takes 1 quart. Oh, I messed up on my problem. Sorry. Okay, so it's 342 ounces. So I need to convert this into quarts. So I know a couple of different things. I know that 1 quart is equal to 4 cups. I know that 1 cup is equal to 8 ounces. So I can solve this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert my ounces into cups first. So I'm going to say that 1 cup is equal to 8 ounces. I'm going to keep my ounces on the bottom. I don't know how many cups that's going to be. So 342 equals 8x. X is going to be equal to 43. So that's going to be 43 cups. Okay, so now I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to convert this. So I know that 1 quart is equal to 4 cups. And I know that I've got 43 cups. So when I cross multiply, oops, x is going to equal, let me get my calculator. Let's just run to the nearest whole number, so that's going to be a lot easier. So it'll be 43. So it's going to be 10.75 rounded, which will be 11. So 11 quarts will be needed. All right, number 14. And this is a true story. So I was at the gym. The dumbbell I was thinking about using had 5 kilograms written on the side, and I was like, oh, yay, I'm doing a lot of weight. And then I was like, well, how much weight am I doing exactly? So how many pounds would that be for that dumbbell? So I know with my standard that I gave you that 1 pound is equal to 0.45 kilograms. And I was lifting a 5 kilogram weight. And I don't know how many pounds that is. So I cross multiply and I get x equaling 11.11 pounds. So I was lifting an 11 pound and 11 hundredths of an ounce weight. So that was not too bad. But I was really thrown. I saw those kilograms and not pounds that I'm used to seeing when I'm in my everyday life. All right. At this point, Math 6, this is where your test, after this question, it's going to be a little bit different. So everyone had this as their last written response question. So what I was looking for, first of all, was that you're in paragraph form and you're given a lot of detail. This is basically like your essential question was on your Padlet, I believe, was how we have percents in real life. So I wanted to hear about 2 different situations. You could have mentioned being in a restaurant and You could have talked about tip. You could have talked about taxes. You could have had a discount with a coupon. All of these things would have occurred with at the restaurant. If you're at a store, again, you're not going to have a tip at a store, but you could have a tax. You could have discount. You could have mentioned commission from the salesperson. You could have mentioned markup or markdown. And again, for this problem, I was looking for you being specific. So if you're telling me you're at the restaurant, tell me what happened to figure those out. If you're at the store, I know some people were asking about simply taking a test or any graded assignments. You have percent correct on these tests when you get them back, or your report card. So these are, again, situations where you could find that. And these are only just the basics. There are tons of places where you find percents. You could think about percents with the weather. The weatherman was way off today because he said that the percent of snow was very low, and we have quite a bit of snow right now, and it's still going. So percent of precipitation. You could talk about percents when you're talking about basketball. I know UNC is playing state tonight, so you're going to hear about their stats, like the free throw percentage, how many times they make a free throw out of other times. So percent free throws made. So hopefully you took this opportunity to be creative and didn't just go at the standard, restaurants and stores, but being creative. If you did, I might even give you a couple bonus points because I'm tired of hearing about these. I'm glad you know about them. They're very important. But if you were able to get creative on me, then, you might be rewarded for that. So at this point, if you are Math 6, you are done with this. If you're Math 6 plus, keep watching because we have 4 more problems to go with percent change and percent error. Number 15. Last year, 6,710 athletes finished the Livingston Marathon. This year, the number of runners crossing the finish line was 20% higher. How many athletes finished the race this year? So we know it's 20% more, so that's a percent increase. So my 20% is going to go on top. My actual number, or my original number of runners, will go on the bottom. And I want to find out what the increase was. So I cross multiply, and I get this equaling 100x, and x equaling 1,342 more runners. So we have to now add this, add to original. So that's going to be 6710 plus 1342 to be a total of 8,052 runners. And this is a percent change problem. So number 16, a mountain on a tropical island experiences changes in height due to volcanic activity. When the mountain was last measured, the height was 3,050 meters. Now it's 3,538 meters. What is the percent increase of the height of the mountain? So again, we have a percent change. We don't know the percent because it says what's the percent. The original was 3,050, and the change is 3,538 minus this, which is going to be 488 meters. So when I cross multiply, whoops, x goes there. X is going to be equal, hold on one second, I did this problem wrong when I was originally solving, so I'm going to have to solve this again. Because x is over here, so the percent change is 48800 divided by 3050. So that's going to be a 16% increase as a final answer. Let me check my work to make sure I did that right. So I've got the percent increase I got the percent, and I got the change, and I've got the original. And when I cross multiply, yeah, okay. Next one, number 17. Jillian calculates that she will take, so this is she, will take 95 minutes to run 7 miles. She runs the distance in 80 minutes. What's Jillian's percent error? So again, we're at a percent error this time. We don't know the percent. We know that the actual time that she did run it was 80 minutes. The difference between the two was 15. So that's going to be 80x over in 1500. So x is going to be 18.75%. So she was in error. Not a bad way though, because if you're going to run faster than being slower, that's a good thing. Number 18, otherwise known as your last question. Hunter thought he purchased an umbrella for $60. The actual price of the umbrella was $50. What is Hunter's percent error? So again, we don't know the percent. We know it's over 100. We know that the actual price was 50. The difference between the two was 10. So my percent error was 20% in error. And that takes us to the end of Unit 9, Test on Percents and Measurement. Hope you did well. If not, use these test corrections to be prepared for the retest coming soon.